Now, Coach, after last season's success that you guys had, how important is it for last season to build off of that season?
We've been fortunate the last few years. We've had great senior leadership, and that's coming through this year once again. The seniors that we have, they've seen what the previous year's seniors have done, and they've really built on that. We pretty much go all year round, and those kids are, whether out on the field, in the gym, in the weight room, and they really push the younger guys just like the seniors did for them. And I definitely think our success in the last couple years is attributed to the senior leadership, and I don't see this group with any kind of drop-off from that at all.
Now, with the voids that you might have coming into the season, how important is it to find answers at some of those positions right away?
Nothing's ever set in stone. We always tell the kids every position is open. We may have some ideas based upon last year. We return a few everyday starters, one part-time or two part-time starters. So we do have some experience coming back, but it's always good to have those younger kids or first-year kids up at varsity pushing and everyone hungry for that position. And that competition just makes you that much stronger of a team going into the season.
Now, graduating 10 seniors last year, the number this year has been cut in half to 5. How important and what kind of attributes will those 5 seniors have to have in order to pick up some of the slack from the 10 seniors?
I think the biggest thing, and mentioned it before, is the senior leadership. I don't have captains. All my seniors are my leaders. And once again this year, like I said, they've embraced that role already, and we haven't even played a game yet. They have really brought the group together. One of the biggest things is we see from the off season going into the season is the team chemistry. That's so strong and so key. A lot of people say you're doing so much work in the off season. It's not necessarily the work. It's getting them together and that bonding that they have, creating that chemistry. So the biggest thing the seniors bring right off the bat is the leadership. After that, each one is going to be out there pushing for a starting role or definitely be involved in one way or another as a role player. And I think that's so big that, the chemistry, the teamwork, pushing one another, it's invaluable. And this senior group really exemplifies all those things.
You mentioned some of your everyday starters. Players like Tony Masseri, Logan Bradish, Jacob Kramer, and Eric Batista highlight that group. What kind of impact can we expect from those 4 and maybe more?
You have Batista and Kramer that were mainstays in the outfield last year. We look to them to continue that also. Bradish at first base, but also pitching from Logan and also Eric. Tony got a lot of time in a DH role. We look to him in moving into an infield position this year, first, third, and a lot will depend on the pitching or possibly in a DH role also. Another part-time player was Dante. He split time at second base depending on the pitching, and we look for him to make a push there as an everyday player also. So those, and along with Tyler Fazekas, who saw a good bit of playing time in the DH role, competing for that and pushing for an infield position also, mostly at third. As we said before, that push, that competition between them, but then also some of the new guys up with us this year. We're definitely looking at what's going on in the workouts, and also we're fortunate enough to get 2 scrimmages in. So moving forward for Connellsville on Monday, trying to have something more set, not necessarily in stone. Once we get into Laurel Highlands in the section, that's when we need stuff pretty much in stone.
Now, with primarily a younger team this year, what kind of challenges and, good things can that bring for a younger team?
As I said before, the biggest thing is they're hungry and they want to prove themselves. Whether they're ready for that role yet is to be determined, but they are pushing. They're pushing the older class guys. They're pushing the experienced ones, and that only makes them better too. As I said, that competition, and this is a very competitive bunch. Sometimes in practice, we do a lot of competitive type BP or fielding exercises, and there's a lot of chirping. Sometimes we got to separate them, but it's all in good and that competition pushes them to become even better.
Now to open up your season, you get Connellsville, as you mentioned. What things do you guys have to focus on and do in order to grab the first win of your season?
We talked after Pine Richland yesterday. You never stay satisfied. You want to look to improve in some way every single day, whether that's practice, scrimmage, or game. And we had Derry on Wednesday, and there was a lot of good things in that scrimmage, but also some things we needed to talk about, address. But with the short turnaround, we didn't have time to practice them. I could not be more pleased with our performance and our effort when we went up to Pine Richland, because everything we talked about, the kids went out and either executed or you could see them working on it. And Pine Richland is a perennial baseball school. 6A won their section last year and returned just about every kid. And the way the guys competed yesterday, it was back and forth, neck and neck the entire scrimmage. And we really don't keep score in scrimmages, but it was a tight ball game. And the way they went out and competed, I could not be more pleased with that. So for Connellsville, the competitive part, the coachability, the team concept, I believe is pretty much there. Next, we got to put it into game form. So this will be our first game, and now it does count in the wins-loss record. Doesn't get you any closer to the playoffs, doesn't move you any further out of the playoffs. So we want to go out, we want to win, but we also want to have those little things in place, making the routine plays look simple, executing the sacrifice, getting the cutoff or hitting the cutoff man's hands, little things like that. We want to make sure we refine those and get those down for when we do get in Laurel Highlands in the section.
Coach, thank you and have a good start to your season.
Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it.